Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and I know I told you guys my next review would be for Boardwalk Empire, but I decided that I had to do a movie review for you guys. I haven't done one for you guys in a long time, and I decided to do one for you guys. Plus, I just got this movie recently. I had pre-ordered it on Amazon, finally got it Tuesday, and I said to myself, I'm not watching this till the weekend, because I didn't want to watch it on a weekday. I wanted to get all my TV reviews done, and then watch it for you. And I decided to finally watch it. I wanted to see this in theaters, I really did, but I did not get a chance to see it in theaters. There were too many things going on in June. I didn't have enough time to see it, things like that. Plus, it was so focused on classic movies that I didn't care as much about, seeing movies, new movies, but now I do, so let's just get to this review. The movie I'm going to be reviewing to you guys is one of the most effective movies I have ever seen in my life. A movie that all of you really need to check out, The Fault in Our Stars. This is a movie I have wanted to see for such a long time. All year I've wanted to see this. I've heard so many people praise this movie. So many people have been talking about this movie. And there are a lot of things that I was just really looking forward to this movie in general. It looked like a fantastic movie to me, and I was just really looking forward to it. So I finally checked out The Fault in Our Stars, and overall, what I think of The Fault in Our Stars? The Fault in Our Stars is an absolute masterpiece of a film, in my opinion. I have no problems with this movie. It is absolutely fantastic. It is such a fantastic movie. It is one of the best movie romances I've ever seen in my life, and it's also pretty accurate to the book, because I started reading the book. I'm not that far into it. I think I'm on 50, maybe 50 pages in. But from what I've seen, now that's not a lot to say, but from what I've heard from the rest of the book, it is very accurate to the book, which is a very good thing. So, let's basically talk about what The Fault in Our Stars is. Now, first of all, guys, I will say that book to movies, here's what I don't like when people say about book to movies. Why do we have to compare the movie to the book? I understand about the story and everything, but I hate it comparing the movie to the book. Honestly, if you enjoy the movie, that's what matters to me, is if I enjoyed this movie, and this one I did really enjoy. So, let's talk about what this movie's about. Basically, this movie's about this girl named Hazel. She is a girl who is very sarcastic, very bored, sort of. She's very bored with her life. She's not really into her life. The highlight of her life is watching, reality shows, like, say, America's Next Top Model, or So You Think You Can Dance, or shows like that. That's basically the highlight of her life, and she is kind of fed up with her life. All her life, she has had very bad cancer that has gone to her throat. She now has very bad stage 4 thyroid cancer, and it's very bad. She's probably gonna die. She knows she's gonna die soon. She knows that she's gonna die. She doesn't know when, but she knows that she's going to die soon. And she ends up going to this support group. Her mother wants her to go to the support group to sort of make some friends, because she's not really having a great life. Again, as I said, she's kind of bored. And she ends up meeting Augustus there. This guy, Augustus Waters. He is a guy who also is in a very bad condition. He has a condition called, sorry if I don't pronounce this right, but he has a condition, what is it called? He has a condition called osteosarcoma. Osteosarcoma, I think that's how you pronounce it. But he has very bad osteosarcoma. He's lost his left leg because of it. That's kind of the condition he's in. And he, though, is living his life to the fullest. He's a very fun guy, and she ends up meeting up with him, and he kind of changes her life for the better. They form a very good friendship, and eventually a romance, and that's pretty much what this movie's about, The Fault in Our Stars. That's pretty much what the movie's about. And, yeah, so that's pretty much what The Fault in Our Stars is about. There's not much else to say there. I'm pretty sure if you guys have read the novel, you know what the plot's about, but, yeah, let's just get into this movie. First of all, let's get into the acting in this movie. If the acting in this movie would not have been good, this movie would not have been good. It's really that simple. This is one of those movies where you had to have really good acting or it would not have worked. There are many book-to-movie adaptations that try to be really good, sappy movies. They just come across as very sappy and cheesy, and this one doesn't come across that way at all. In fact, this movie, the first, I'd say, hour is not even that dramatic. It's a comedy for the first hour. The first hour is really just fun. You see the two of them talking. You see Hazel trying to live her life to the fullest. It's a lot of fun to watch, and that was really good. Now, let's talk about Shailene Woodley. Shailene Woodley is by far one of the best actresses working today. By far one of the best actresses working today. She is absolutely amazing in this movie, and she gives one of the best, performances of the year by far. The thing is, her character is a character that isn't exactly so, dramatic all the time, and a lot of the time, as I said, is a lot of fun. It's just Hazel having a lot of fun, living her life to the fullest. However, when the movie requires her to get dramatic, she is extremely dramatic and extremely effective. The emotion is perfect. It seemed real. It seemed real to her. It seemed like she was really going through this, and Shailene Woodley just did a fantastic job with that by far. I've seen Shailene Woodley in a few other things, Divergent, which she was very good in this year, which I still find it hilarious that that these two played brother and sister in Divergent, and now they're playing lovers in The Fault in Our Stars. And then the same thing had to happen to her with Spectacular Now. She was Miles telling her we're lovers in the Spectacular Now, and then they were enemies in Divergent. It's just weird how that works out for her, but I've seen her also in The Descendants, where she was really good in, but this is by far Shailene Woodley's best performance. She was absolutely fantastic, and I loved her acting in this, especially towards, I'd say, the last hour of the movie. That is when she started to get really, really good. She was great throughout the whole movie, but the last hour of the movie, that's when I'm like, okay, this girl is absolutely amazing, and this is by far her best performance. There was no doubt about it after that. Ansel Elgort as Augustus was fantastic. His character was very much, I'd say, like a Jack Dawson. Now, he's nothing like Jack Dawson in the Titanic. He's like that because the first minute you see his character, you love his character. I loved his character personally. I thought his character was fantastic. I just thought he was just a great character. He's a fun guy. He's just a really fun guy, and him and Shailene Woodley have probably the best movie chemistry of the year so far, by far. They have some of the best movie chemistry. Such great chemistry between the two of them. You would think that they were dating in real life. You really would. You would think that because of how good their chemistry really is in this movie. I mean, first they're friends and then they're lovers, but it's really just great with their chemistry, and they have such great chemistry in this movie, and it was absolutely fantastic. It really was. And he really has this, it's very hard to watch some of his scenes towards the end of the movie. I'm not going to spoil what happened to Augustus. We'll get to that in the spoilers, but he played such a great character, and I loved his character in the movie. Just a really fun guy. And again, he really changed Hazel for the better. He really made her a better person. He made her more happy, and I really liked that about his character a lot. Nat Wolff as Isaac. I've seen Nat Wolff in one other movie, Stuck in Love. Of course, I saw him in the Naked Brothers Band. That's extremely nostalgic for me. I love that show, but I really like that he's doing movies because he's a very good actor. He plays Augustus's best friend, Isaac. Isaac is blind, and he's very bitter. His girlfriend has just broken up with him. There's a great scene where the three of them go to his girlfriend's house and start throwing eggs there at her car. It's really funny to watch, and I thought he did a really great job. He was sort of, I wouldn't say comic relief, but he was definitely a very good role, in my opinion. I enjoyed his role a lot. And while he's only in a couple scenes in the movie, he is a very good character, in my opinion. Laura Dern plays Hazel's mom. Great. She was absolutely fantastic. You could see that she was, she was kind of hiding the fact that she's so scared that Hazel's going to die. She tries to make Hazel live her life to the fullest. She pretty much knows that Hazel's going to die soon, but she kind of tries to cover it up and everything. And I really like the chemistry between her and Hazel, really great mother-daughter chemistry. They were fantastic. And then Sam Trammell, it was great to see him again. Last time I saw him was, of course, True Blood. He was great as well. I thought he was great as well as her father. And the only person to talk about is William Dafoe, who plays a role that does not seem that important. He plays this guy, Peter Van Houten. Now, Peter Van Houten is an author that Augustus and Hazel both enjoy a lot. He's their favorite author, and he's written this book, and Hazel wants to know, how the book ended, so they go to Amsterdam to question him a little bit. They find out he's a very, bitter, very bitter drunk. He's very, he's very much into drinking. He's very bitter, and we find out why a little bit later, but his character was really good. William Dafoe gave a great performance as well. I thought he was also fantastic. And that's really all the acting we have to talk about. Let's get to the directing in this movie. The directing was fantastic in the movie. The director of this movie is... Who's the director of this movie? Directing... I'm trying to remember the director. Oh, the director of this movie was Josh Boone, and he did a fantastic job too in the movie. You know, there were a lot of times where you could tell that he wanted to make a scene funny or he wanted to make it serious. You could tell when he wanted to make it funny. You could tell when he wanted to make it serious, and that was just spot on. The tone was spot on with that in the movie, and I thought that was fantastic. Perfect tones, definitely great tones, and the tone was definitely spot on with that. And, so yeah, the directing was great. The editing was fantastic. This movie goes by so quickly. It is 2 hours and 6 minutes, but I was engaged the entire time into the movie. I am going to say the movie's a little bit slow paced. It does take a little while for the actual story to start, but I was into the movie from the first second of the movie. So if you guys don't really like slow paced movies, you're not going to like this, but I really have no issues with slow paced movies as long as the story's engaging, which this story really was engaging, and from the first minute, I was definitely very invested into the story. The screenplay was great. Screenplay, you know, there's not much of a screenplay here. It's based off a novel, so there's not much they changed, really. But I do have to point out the soundtrack. Amazing soundtrack. I gotta give applause to the soundtrack, because the soundtrack is one of the best soundtracks of the year by far. The songs fit the movie so well, and I remember I bought the soundtrack on iTunes, and I really enjoyed it, and I was really looking forward to seeing how those songs fit into the movie. They fit in the movie so well. I mean, I couldn't have thought of a better song, and all the songs are just so perfect in the movie. And the soundtrack is just, it's one of the reasons the movie is so effective is because of the soundtrack and the songs they use. Just, the soundtrack was amazing by far, and I love the soundtrack. The cinematography was great too. There's this really cool thing they do early in the movie where Hazel and Augustus are texting each other, and you kind of see the text on the screen. I thought that was cool to see, and I don't know if I've seen that before, but I thought that was kind of cool what they did there. Not much to say, but I like that they did that. Not much to say about the cinematography. And now let's get to the biggest part of the movie, the spoilers. If you guys have not seen The Fault in Our Stars or read the novel, if you read the novel, then you pretty much know what happens. And if you've seen the movie, you know, you'll see how it's portrayed. But if you haven't seen The Fault in Our Stars, do not watch the rest of this review. Because I'm going to spoil one of the biggest things in the movie. Now, of course, the movie gets a lot more dramatic when we find out that Augustus's cancer has relapsed and he's in a very bad condition, and that is when the movie started to make me very emotional and things like that. There was some very hard scene to watch, as I said, with his character, especially that one where he's in that car and he's pretty much just giving up on himself, especially because most of the movie, you know, he's a very positive individual, and things like that. And, you know, there was that one scene, of course, where he's not so positive, and it was very sad to watch, definitely, to see him just regress and regress and regress, and you wanted him to get better, but you knew he was not going to make it through this. You just knew he was not going to make it, and it was really sad to watch, definitely, when that happened. But I thought it was definitely very well done when they did that. And then, of course, there's the pre-funeral the pre-eulogies that Hazel and Isaac give, which were very sad to watch, definitely. And then, of course, Augustus dies. But the biggest reveal, of course, is when we find out why Peter Van Houten wrote why the ending of the book was so abrupt, because and I thought this was a great twist. I love this twist. I didn't know this at all, and I thought it was a great twist, that his daughter actually did suffer from cancer, and she died of cancer, and the book was supposed to be portrayed how he reacted to that. So I thought that was really cool. And then, of course, the ending was very bittersweet, in my opinion, the way it ended with him giving that note to Hazel. And at first she doesn't want to read because she just thinks that Peter's a giant douchebag. But then she does read it, and she finds out it's Augustus's last words to her, what he would have said to her. And he did that, so, you know, he wanted Peter to give that to her, and I thought that was just a fantastic way to end the movie. And it was really sad, definitely, and I just thought that was just such a great way to end it. I love the way it ended, and just fantastic stuff there. Love that. And that's pretty much all I have to say about The Fault in Our Stars. Now, I would give away some of the really good scenes in the movie, but I'm not going to. But overall, that's really all I have to say. Overall, Fault in Our Stars is such a fantastic movie. I highly recommend you guys check it out, because it truly is one of the best movies of the year by far. I absolutely loved it. Again, Shailene Woodley and Ansel Elgort have some of the best chemistry I've seen all year from any movie, and they were absolutely fantastic in this movie. And you guys really need to check out The Fault in Our Stars, because it really is fantastic, and it will make an impact on you. I will say that. If you guys don't want a movie that's going to make you cry, don't watch this movie, because you're going to cry. Even if you're saying, oh, I'm not going to cry, I don't react that much to movies. I don't react much to movies. I'm going to be honest. I don't react much to movies. I hardly cry. I've only cried to about, I don't know, like 3 movies. Green Mile, Titanic, Schindler's List. Those are the 3 movies that really affected me a lot. And sort of Shawshank Redemption. I'd say that sort of affected me. This movie affected me in such a big way. And, you know, this movie will make you cry, okay? This movie's definitely going to make you cry. And you're going to cry, definitely. You're going to get emotional. Even if you don't want to, you're going to get emotional. And that's just the way it is with this movie. Because there are a lot of scenes in this movie that are a lot of fun to watch. You know, there's a scene where they go to the Anne Frank Museum. There's a scene where they are just around New Amsterdam, touring New Amsterdam. I thought that was a good scene to watch. You know, there are a lot of fun scenes like that. But be prepared that the movie does get very emotional in the second half. And that's pretty much it for my review of The Fault in Our Stars. Let me know what you guys saw of this movie, and I will see you guys in my next video, which will be my review for Boardwalk Empire. And again, guys, please check out my Letterboxd review, as usual, will be down below in the description. And I will see you guys in my next video, which will be my review for tonight's episode of Boardwalk Empire. So I'll see you guys for that. Okay, bye.